Obviously, he put you in the car early in your career. You had success. You've been through a lot of ups and downs. What's your relationship now with Joe Gibbs? Now that you have the team, where would you say that relationship is? We saw him cracking on you over your jeans, so obviously it's still pretty.
It's
pretty
good. No, it's good. I mean, I've kind of taken Ty under my wing. I'd say that as a mentor, I'm probably more of a mentor to Ty than any of the other Gibbs drivers. We travel together. We do a lot of talking. He's obviously a young up-and-coming
You and Joe
driver.
traveled together, or Ty?
Me and Ty traveled together.
Gotcha.
But I know it's very important for Joe is Ty's success, and I think that he really leans on me to be that kind of adult figure for Ty here at this racetrack. Obviously, that family's gone through some tough times over the years, and so that's something I definitely take very seriously. Is that this is a kid that's going to be in the sport for a very long time. He's going to lead the legacy of Joe Gibbs Racing as a driver for many, many years. What can I do to help him? And knowing that one day when I turn in the keys, my team will be competing against him. It's my job to give back to the Gibbs family because they've been so good to me over the course of my career. They're the ones that took a chance on me. I mean, I had nothing when I came in and signed with Joe Gibbs Racing. They believed in me and my ability, and they stuck it out with me when things weren't all that great at times. So it's a family. I always thought that, while my dad never really traveled that much anymore, Gibbs was my at-track family. And if I can be that for Ty and any of the other Gibbs families, then that'd be great.
What's the best advice he's ever given you?
Well, the best advice he ever said was, "Don't be a team owner." He tried to talk me into that for sure, and say that you're making a huge mistake, which I agree with him. But I'll say that just he leads by example, and when I say that, it's Monday morning at 8:30, drive by Joe Gibbs Racing, and you'll see Joe's car sitting in the parking lot. He shows his work ethic through example, and he's there saying, what can we do? Say you didn't win this weekend. He goes to all the cars that lose before he goes to victory lane for the ones that win. He meets with every driver and says, what do you need? What can I do to help you be better? And I appreciate that you've got an owner that is that present, that invested. And so I want to model myself as a team owner after Joe Gibbs, because you don't find someone that is in the Hall of Fame in multiple sports very often.
Obviously,
and he obviously does it because he gets the best out of his people, and that's something I really, really admire.
What's the maddest he's ever been at you?
Oh, man. I mean, there's been a lot of times he's been really ticked off at me. The lip starts quivering, but I'm trying to remember one in particular, but I know that we have had some knockdown dragouts over some pit crew stuff at times where, in that room of the competition meeting, I'll get pretty critical. And, he knows how hard there's working because he's out there during pit stop practice watching them, and he's sticking up for his guys, right? And so there's been times he's taken exception to me and some comments I've made.
Any knockdown dragouts with Kyle Busch in the competition meeting? What's the best one with you and Kyle? When I look at Kyle, if I was on the same team, I just envision myself just going nose to nose with Kyle at some point in the competition meeting. I
think Kyle and Carl almost did one time.
Really?
Matt Kenseth probably can tell that story a little better.
Yeah.
But I never really had a lot of confrontation. I did have a few moments. I mean, there was the All-Star race at Charlotte where he thought that I air blocked him into the wall. I don't know. I was in the lead. I don't know how that happened. But and then there was other at Atlanta where we were kind of racing each other a little silly at times during the race where there was a difference of opinion. But, my respect for Kyle is pretty high. Yeah. I really have a ton of respect for Kyle, and I almost envision kind of our relationship very similar to mine and Tony Stewart's, where we actually became better friends when we were not teammates. I think when we were teammates, it was too much of competition. Yeah. I'll never forget the very first test that Kyle came over when we were at Atlanta. We kept one-upping each other. Every time we would go out, we'd keep making each other go faster. And Kyle was like, yeah, I really wanted to set the barometer of like, let you know that I'm the man here now. And I'm like, oh, really? So it was always a friendly competition, but also a fierce competition between us. But I just respect the hell out of his talent. He's such a gifted driver, and he always gets the best out of any equipment he's ever been in.
Yeah. You see, as you go, I mean, I'm not going to pin you down on what year you're going to retire, but do you see your career ending at Joe Gibbs Racing as a driver?
I see my full-time career ending at Joe Gibbs Racing. I don't know whether I'll just shut the switch off or I'll just do some one-offs here and there. The only problem I have is my competitiveness. And there's no way I can go to a track knowing I can't win. If I know that I can't win, there's no way I'll do it. I have too much pride to do that. So I don't know when the switch will go off, and the switch of competition where I'm just not as fast as I need to be, or my craft isn't as good as it needs to be. It's coming. I don't know when it will come. I think I'm still very, very high up on the level of skill set for my age, but I know that eventually the reaction's just going to slow down just enough to take me out of competition. And when that happens, I'm going to just stop immediately. And I don't know when that is. I mean, you were able to make it go till mid to late 40s, so I'd love for it to go that long, but I have my doubts.
Yeah, I think the intriguing part for me on that question is it was always fun to drive my own cars, but the thing that I learned quickly was I never thought my cars were as competitive when I wasn't driving for RCR. And I think that would be, I mean, do you think your cars would be as competitive if you weren't driving at Joe Gibbs Racing? How long do you think it will take to keep your cars competitive enough without you driving? Because that was always the balance for me. When I owned the teams, I always thought every time I kind of just stepped away a little bit, it's like we fell off. And so I think it's an intriguing balance as to when your team will actually be ready for you to be on the other side of the fence, not driving.
I think it would take a few years because you got to have a pit crew too. I mean, the pit crew is such a big part of the results nowadays. The only advantage to that now, though, is that the cars are so similar. And so I'm very confident in the speed of the cars. The 2311 is just as fast as Joe Gibbs Racing is. But there's so many other elements that play into the result that would take a few years to get. I mean, you got to have the right person on the top of the pit box. You got to have the right engineers. You'd have to put that team together, and it certainly would take a few years. So that's there's a few hesitations I have. One is that I want to end my career with Joe Gibbs Racing because I want to be loyal to the person that gave me my start. But yes, there is a part of me that wants to drive for 2311. Absolutely. I think without doubt, I'll say that I'll certainly be racing at 2311 and at least a race at some point in my career.
That'd be pretty awesome.
Hey race fans, thanks for watching our video. For all NASCAR on Fox News, content, and the best clips from Fox Sports, be sure to follow and subscribe to our channel.